Emperor Pilaf is one of Dragon Ball's first villains, but despite his ambitions, he's more of a joke than a real threat. Leading his goofy gang, Mai and Shu, he gathers the Dragon Balls, hoping to wish for world domination. However, he foolishly decides to wait until morning to make his wish, giving Goku and his friends time to escape. That night, Goku unexpectedly transforms into a great ape and destroys Pilaf's castle, crushing his plans before he can succeed. Refusing to give up, Pilaf later returns with the Pilaf machine, a giant mech suit, but he and his gang remain easily defeated. Over time, Pilaf fades into more of a comedic background character, eventually resurfacing in Dragon Ball Super as a harmless, bumbling ally, de-aged into a child due to an unintended Dragon Ball wish, rather than a true villain. The Red Ribbon Army is the first true organization of villains in Dragon Ball, acting as a global military force obsessed with gathering the Dragon Balls to increase their power. Unlike Pilaf, they aren't just comedic, they're ruthless, with entire divisions dedicated to hunting down Goku. Led by Commander Red, who secretly wants to wish for more height, the army deploys some of its strongest fighters after Goku, including General Blue, a superhuman soldier with psychic abilities, and Mercenary Tao, a deadly assassin who nearly kills Goku. Despite their overwhelming resources, the army is systematically taken down by Goku, with most of its forces being wiped out. However, their legacy lives on through Dr. Gero, the scientist behind the Red Ribbon's android projects, setting the stage for even deadlier threats in Dragon Ball Z. Mercenary Tao is the first true assassin in Dragon Ball, and one of the deadliest fighters Goku faces early on. Hired by the Red Ribbon Army to eliminate Goku, Tao proves his strength by effortlessly killing Bora, Upa's father, with a single strike. Unlike the bumbling soldiers of the army, Tao is cold, ruthless, and highly skilled, even using his signature Dodon Ray to nearly kill Goku. However, after underestimating Goku's resilience, he's ultimately defeated when he tries to throw a grenade at Goku, only for Goku to kick it back, causing it to explode on Tao instead. Thought to be dead, Tao later returns as a cyborg, but by then, he's completely outclassed, easily defeated by Tien Shinhan, and reduced to a joke character, never regaining his former menace. King Piccolo is Dragon Ball's first true world-ending threat and the most dangerous villain up to that point. A centuries-old evil Namekian, he was once sealed away, but is later freed by Emperor Pilaf, who hopes to use him to take over the world. Wasting no time, Piccolo goes on a rampage, systematically wiping out Earth's strongest fighters, including Krillin and Chaozu, while Master Roshi dies from overexertion attempting the Mafuba. Using the Dragon Balls, Piccolo restores his youth and establishes his rule, seemingly unstoppable until Goku, driven by revenge, challenges him in a brutal showdown. After an intense battle, Goku delivers a final all-or-nothing flying punch straight through Piccolo's chest, seemingly ending him. But with his dying breath, Piccolo spits out an egg, his offspring Piccolo Jr., ensuring his legacy continues into Dragon Ball Z. Piccolo Jr. is born from the dying breath of King Piccolo, created with the sole purpose of avenging his father and conquering the world. Unlike his predecessor, he's not just a mindless conqueror, he's a tactical and highly skilled warrior who matures rapidly, honing his abilities to surpass his father. He enters the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, where he finally faces Goku in a brutal, high-stakes battle. This time, Piccolo pushes Goku to his absolute limit, shattering his arm and unleashing devastating energy attacks like the explosive wave. Despite his overwhelming power, he is ultimately defeated when Goku lands a perfectly timed flying punch, securing victory. Instead of being killed, Piccolo is spared, and over time, he evolves from a vengeful villain into one of Goku's greatest allies, becoming a mentor to Gohan and a key fighter in Dragon Ball Z. Raditz is the villain who changes Dragon Ball forever, revealing Goku's true origins as a Saiyan warrior. As Goku's long-lost brother, he arrives on Earth with a single mission: to recruit Goku and force him to embrace his Saiyan heritage to aid in planetary conquests. When Goku refuses, Raditz easily overpowers him and Piccolo, proving just how outclassed they are. Even their combined efforts aren't enough, forcing Goku to make the ultimate sacrifice, holding Raditz in place while Piccolo fires the special beam cannon, killing them both. But before dying, Raditz delivers one final shock. Through his scouter, his Saiyan allies Vegeta and Nappa have overheard everything, and now they're coming to Earth, setting the stage for one of Dragon Ball Z's most iconic sagas. Nappa is the Saiyan brute who arrives on Earth alongside Vegeta, showcasing just how terrifying the Saiyan race truly is. Towering over his enemies, he effortlessly overwhelms Earth's defenders, killing Tien, Chiaotzu, and Piccolo, while a Cyberman eliminates Yamcha. With only Goku left to stop him, Nappa finally meets his match. Goku's Kaioken technique allows him to dodge and counter Nappa's attacks with ease, quickly turning the tide of battle. Desperate, Nappa turns to Vegeta for help, but instead of saving him, Vegeta mercilessly kills him for failing and disgracing the Saiyan race. Despite his short time in the series, Nappa remains one of the most memorable Saiyan warriors in Dragon Ball Z. Vegeta arrives on Earth as the true mastermind behind the Saiyan invasion, far more ruthless and intelligent than Nappa. Unlike his brutish partner, Vegeta fights with precision, carefully assessing his enemies before unleashing his full power. His battle with Goku is one of Dragon Ball Z's most legendary fights, forcing Goku to push past his limits and use Kaioken X4 just to land a decisive blow. Even then, Vegeta remains a formidable threat, eventually transforming into a great ape, using a power ball to gain the upper hand. However, he is ultimately overwhelmed by the combined efforts of Goku, Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe, leaving him battered and forced to retreat in humiliation. Though he begins as a cold-blooded conqueror, Vegeta's loss plants the seeds for his transformation, leading him on a long path from villain to one of Dragon Ball's greatest heroes. Frieza is the ultimate tyrant and the most feared villain in Dragon Ball Z, responsible for the destruction of planet Vegeta and countless other atrocities across the universe. Cold, calculating, and sadistic, Frieza rules with an iron fist, and when he learns of the Dragon Balls on Namek, he personally arrives to claim them for immortality. His power is overwhelming. He wipes out entire Namekian villages, defeats Piccolo after an intense battle, and brutally executes Vegeta. But his greatest challenge comes against Goku, who pushes past his limits after witnessing Frieza murder Krillin, triggering his transformation into a Super Saiyan and fulfilling the legendary prophecy. Even then, Frieza refuses to admit defeat, launching a last-ditch attack, only for Goku to spare his life. However, Frieza betrays him, forcing Goku to retaliate and leave him on the dying planet. Though seemingly destroyed, Frieza later returns in a cybernetic form, only to be swiftly killed by future Trunks. However, his legacy of terror is far from over, as he is resurrected in Dragon Ball Super, becoming a major threat once again. Dr. Gero and the androids are the Red Ribbon Army's final revenge against Goku, decades after their original defeat. As the mastermind behind the Android project, Dr. Gero transforms himself into Android 20 and awakens Android 19, a cold, energy-absorbing machine. However, both are quickly outmatched when Vegeta debuts as a Super Saiyan, effortlessly destroying Android 19 and forcing Dr. Gero to retreat. Desperate, Gero activates androids 17 and 18, believing he can control them, but his creations immediately betray and kill him. Unlike previous villains, 17 and 18 are playful yet completely ruthless, toying with the Z fighters while effortlessly overpowering them. However, their ultimate creation, Android 16, is different. Though immensely powerful, he is peaceful by nature and only fights when necessary. While the androids seem unstoppable, the real threat emerges with the awakening of Cell, an artificial life form designed to absorb them and achieve his perfect form. Android 16 meets his end at Cell's hands, while 17 and 18 ultimately survive. 18 reforms and later marries Krillin, proving that not all villains remain evil forever, while 17 re-emerges in Dragon Ball Super as one of Earth's strongest defenders. Cell is Dr. Gero's ultimate creation, a bioengineered nightmare designed to achieve perfection by absorbing androids 17 and 18. Unlike the other androids, Cell is a living organism, growing stronger with every fight. He first appears in his imperfect form, hunting down and absorbing entire cities to increase his power. Once he absorbs Android 17, he evolves into semi-perfect Cell, overpowering the Z fighters with ease, but his true terror is unleashed when he finally absorbs Android 18, achieving his perfect form, a nearly invincible warrior with the strength of all the greatest fighters combined. Rather than immediately destroying Earth, Cell hosts the Cell Games, a twisted tournament to test his power. Goku gives it his all but ultimately forfeits, leaving Gohan to take on Cell. After brutally killing Android 16, Cell finally pushes Gohan over the edge, triggering Super Saiyan 2, a transformation powerful enough to completely dominate Cell. In a last-ditch effort, Cell attempts to self-destruct, forcing Goku to sacrifice himself by teleporting Cell away. However, Cell regenerates and returns even stronger, but Gohan, with one final father-son Kamehameha, obliterates him for good, ending one of Dragon Ball Z's most iconic battles. Babidi is a ruthless sorcerer who arrives on Earth with one goal: reviving Majin Buu, the most dangerous force in the universe. Manipulative and power-hungry, Babidi travels with Dabura, the king of the demon realm, using mind control to corrupt strong warriors like Yamu, Spopovich, and even Vegeta, turning him into Majin Vegeta. While his magic makes him a threat, Babidi himself is weak, relying entirely on his minions to do the fighting. After gathering enough energy, he successfully awakens Majin Buu, expecting the creature to be his obedient servant. However, Buu quickly proves uncontrollable, effortlessly killing Dabura and then turning against Babidi himself. Despite Babidi's desperate attempts to maintain control, Buu brutally executes him, proving that the true threat of the saga has only just begun. Majin Buu is the most unpredictable and chaotic villain in Dragon Ball Z, an ancient being of pure destruction who has existed for millions of years. Unlike previous villains, Buu isn't driven by revenge or power. He simply destroys for fun, making him the most dangerous enemy yet. His first form, Innocent Buu, Fat Buu, appears childlike and goofy, but possesses terrifying power, easily overwhelming the Z fighters. Though manipulated by Babidi, Buu begins to change after befriending Mr. Satan. However, when he is pushed over the edge by the death of Mr. Satan's dog, his inner evil manifests into a separate being, Evil Buu. This dark entity absorbs his weaker counterpart, transforming into Super Buu, a far more intelligent and lethal fighter. Super Buu rampages through Earth, wiping out entire cities and killing nearly all the Z fighters. He becomes even stronger by absorbing Gotenks, Piccolo, and Ultimate Gohan, reaching an almost unstoppable level of power. However, when Goku and Vegeta enter his body and remove the absorbed fighters, Buu reverts to his purest, most dangerous form, Kid Buu, an unpredictable force of destruction. With no remorse, Kid Buu immediately obliterates Earth, forcing Goku and Vegeta into a final battle on the sacred world of the Kais. After an exhausting fight, Goku finally defeats him with a massive spirit bomb, erasing his evil for good. However, Buu's story doesn't end there. At Goku's request, he is reincarnated as Oob, setting the stage for the next generation of warriors. Baby is Dragon Ball GT's most dangerous villain, and one of the few enemies with a legitimate reason to despise the Saiyans. A bioengineered parasitic tuffle created by Dr. Mew, Baby was designed to take revenge on the Saiyans for wiping out his race long ago. Unlike most foes, he doesn't fight head-on. Instead, he infects and possesses his victims, turning Earth's strongest warriors into his puppets. After taking control of Goten, then Gohan and Trunks, Baby finally possesses Vegeta, evolving into Baby Vegeta, his most powerful and terrifying form. With his newfound strength, he enslaves the entire planet, even manipulating Bulma into helping him grow stronger. Goku, after nearly being killed, returns and unlocks Super Saiyan 4, the only form strong enough to challenge Baby. After a brutal battle, Goku defeats him with a devastating Kamehameha, forcing Baby to flee Vegeta's body. In a last-ditch effort to escape, Baby tries to flee into space, but Goku blasts him into the sun, incinerating him completely and bringing an end to one of GT's most personal and well-developed villains. Super 17 is one of Dragon Ball GT's most dangerous and unexpected threats, created when Dr. Gero and Dr. Mew joined forces in Hell to build the ultimate android. Rather than a direct fusion, Super 17 is formed when a new Hellfighter 17 merges with the original android 17 on Earth, creating a cold, calculating, and nearly unstoppable warrior. His power dwarfs that of the Z fighters, and with his energy absorption ability, he can nullify almost any energy attack thrown at him. After killing Dr. Gero himself, Super 17 escapes to Earth and begins a devastating rampage, slaughtering Krillin and seemingly destroying Piccolo. Even Super Saiyan 4 Goku struggles against him, as every energy blast only makes him stronger. However, his downfall comes from his overconfidence. When Android 18 confronts him and appeals to his original self, it momentarily distracts him. This gives Goku the opening to exploit his one weakness, physical attacks. Charging up a Dragon Fist, Goku punches straight through Super 17's body, obliterating him for good. Though short-lived, Super 17 remains one of GT's most ruthless and powerful enemies. The Shadow Dragons are Dragon Ball GT's final and most unique villains, born from the overuse of the Dragon Balls. Each wish made with them accumulated negative energy, and after centuries of reckless use, this energy manifests into 7 evil dragons, each representing a past wish. Unlike other villains, the Shadow Dragons aren't just powerful, they are a direct consequence of the Z Fighters' reliance on the Dragon Balls. Goku and Pan battle the Shadow Dragons one by one, but the true threat emerges in Sin Shenron, the strongest of them all. After absorbing the other dragons, he transforms into Omega Shenron, a godlike entity whose power surpasses even Super Saiyan 4, Goku, and Vegeta combined. Even Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is unable to finish him off before their fusion runs out. With no other options, Goku makes one final gamble, gathering energy from across the universe to form the ultimate spirit bomb. With one final blast, Omega Shenron is erased. In the aftermath, Shenron himself appears, taking the Dragon Balls with him to prevent further misuse. With Goku departing alongside Shenron, the era of the Dragon Balls comes to an end, marking the conclusion of Dragon Ball GT. Beerus is introduced in Dragon Ball Super as the God of Destruction, a cosmic enforcer whose duty is to erase planets to maintain balance in the universe. Unlike previous villains, Beerus isn't evil, he's simply fulfilling his role. After awakening from a long sleep, he recalls a prophetic dream about battling a Super Saiyan god, leading him to seek out Goku and the Saiyans on Earth. To face Beerus, Goku undergoes a ritual with the help of his fellow Saiyans, transforming into Super Saiyan God. However, even with this newfound power, he is completely outmatched. Beerus toys with him, claiming to use only a fraction of his full strength, and despite Goku pushing himself to the limit, Beerus effortlessly wins. However, rather than destroying Earth, Beerus chooses to spare it, partly because of Goku's potential, and partly because of the incredible food Earth has to offer. Though he starts as a major antagonist, Beerus eventually becomes an ally and a catalyst for Goku and Vegeta's continued growth, introducing them to Whis' training and the vast power yet to be unlocked. Golden Frieza marks the terrifying return of Dragon Ball Z's most infamous villain, now stronger than ever. After being resurrected by his followers in Dragon Ball Super, Frieza realizes he's fallen behind and trains for the first time in his life, unlocking his ultimate form, Golden Frieza. With this new power, he immediately sets out for revenge, leading an invasion of Earth with an army of 1,000 soldiers. When he finally faces Goku and Vegeta, Golden Frieza proves incredibly powerful, surpassing even Super Saiyan Blue at first. However, his biggest weakness is stamina. His body isn't used to his newfound strength, and he quickly begins to weaken. Seizing the opportunity, Vegeta steps in and completely dominates Frieza, proving that Saiyans have once again surpassed him. But in true Frieza fashion, he refuses to accept defeat, destroying Earth in a desperate final act. Thanks to Whis reversing time, Goku gets one last chance and obliterates Frieza with a Kamehameha, ending his invasion. However, this wouldn't be the last time Frieza would return, later becoming an unexpected key player in the Tournament of Power. Goku Black is one of Dragon Ball Super's most twisted and personal villains, a dark reflection of Goku himself. In an alternate timeline, Zamasu, a rogue Supreme Kai apprentice from Universe 10, becomes obsessed with the belief that mortals are a mistake. Seeking divine justice, he uses the Super Dragon Balls to swap bodies with Goku, murdering him and his family before taking on the identity of Goku Black. Now wielding Goku's Saiyan strength with a god's hatred for humanity, he begins his crusade to wipe out all mortals. Goku Black's rampage through Future Trunks' timeline is relentless. He continuously grows stronger, unlocking Super Saiyan Rose, a divine version of Super Saiyan Blue. With the help of his future counterpart, Future Zamasu, who has gained immortality, they eradicate nearly all life in Trunks' world. Goku and Vegeta struggle against them, even with their strongest transformations. Their only hope comes in Vegeto Blue, Goku, but even his immense power isn't enough to secure victory. Ultimately, Future Trunks delivers the final blow, slicing fused Zamasu in half with a spirit-powered sword attack. However, Zamasu's will persists, merging with the universe itself, forcing Zeno, the Omni King, to erase the entire timeline to stop him. Despite his defeat, Goku Black remains one of Dragon Ball's most chilling villains, both in power and ideology. Jiren is unlike any previous antagonist in Dragon Ball Super. He isn't a villain, but rather the strongest warrior of Universe 11, standing in the way of Goku's ultimate goal in the Tournament of Power. Unlike Frieza or Zamasu, Jiren doesn't fight out of malice. He fights for absolute strength, believing that power is justice after witnessing the destruction of his family and the failure of his allies as a child. This experience led him to believe that relying on others is a weakness, shaping his solitary pursuit of power. From the moment he steps into the tournament, Jiren proves unstoppable, effortlessly defeating Goku, Vegeta, Hit, and nearly every top fighter. Even Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and Vegeta's Final Flash fail to faze him. It isn't until Goku unlocks Ultra Instinct that the tide begins to turn, finally pushing Jiren to his limits. In their final battle, Goku, Frieza, and Android 17 team up to force Jiren out of the ring, marking the first time he has ever truly lost. Though Jiren is defeated, he earns Goku's respect and begins to understand that true strength isn't about fighting alone. Unlike most antagonists, Jiren survives and continues his journey, likely waiting for the day he can challenge Goku once again. Moro is one of the most terrifying villains in Dragon Ball Super, bringing back a level of fear and destruction not seen since Majin Buu. Known as the Planet Eater, Moro is an ancient sorcerer who terrorized the universe 10 million years ago, using his magic to consume entire planets before being sealed away by the Supreme Kais. However, after escaping Galactic Patrol prison and using the Dragon Balls on New Namek to restore his full power, he resumes his reign of destruction, draining entire worlds of life and growing stronger with each battle. Unlike most villains, Moro doesn't rely on brute strength alone. His magic and energy absorption make him nearly impossible to fight. Even Goku and Vegeta at full power struggle against him, forcing Vegeta to train on Yardrat to learn Force Spirit Fission, a technique that allows him to undo Moro's stolen power. Just when it seems like the battle is over, Moro desperately fuses with the Earth, threatening to destroy the entire planet if he is not stopped. In a final showdown, Goku achieves true Ultra Instinct, and summoning a colossal energy avatar overpowers Moro with a final Kamehameha, obliterating him along with his fused Earth form. With Moro's defeat, one of Dragon Ball's most sinister villains is finally erased. Granola is a unique antagonist in Dragon Ball Super, starting as a revenge-driven warrior rather than a true villain. As the last survivor of the Cerealian race, he holds an intense grudge against the Saiyans and Frieza, who were responsible for his people's extinction. When he learns that Goku and Vegeta are Saiyans, he immediately seeks revenge, using the Dragon Balls to become the strongest warrior in the universe, at the cost of drastically shortening his lifespan. Fueled by hatred, Granola overwhelms both Goku and Vegeta, countering Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego with pinpoint precision. However, as the battle unfolds, he learns the truth. The Saiyans weren't his real enemies. It was actually the Heaters, led by Elec, who orchestrated the destruction of his people. Betrayed and left for dead, Granola turns his attention to the real threat. Eventually, Granola joins forces with Goku and Vegeta to take down Gas, Elec's strongest fighter. After a long battle, Gas is defeated, and Granola lets go of his hatred, choosing to live out the rest of his shortened life in peace, proving that revenge isn't the answer. Gas is the strongest member of the Heater Force and the final major antagonist in the Granola The Survivor Saga. Unlike previous villains, Gas isn't motivated by conquest or destruction. He is a weapon, molded by his brother Elec to serve as the ultimate enforcer. When Granola uses the Dragon Balls to become the strongest warrior, Elec forces Gas to do the same, sacrificing his lifespan to surpass even Goku and Vegeta. With his new power, Gas completely dominates the battlefield, adapting to every challenge. He defeats Granola, overpowers Ultra Instinct Goku, and crushes Ultra Ego Vegeta, proving himself to be the strongest in the universe. However, his transformation comes with a fatal flaw. His body body is burning away rapidly, leaving him a ticking time bomb. In the final battle, Gas's strength turns against him as he decays into a monstrous husk, mindlessly attacking until Frieza arrives. In just one hit, Black Frieza obliterates Gas, proving that even after all his sacrifices, he was never truly the strongest. With Gas gone, the heaters fall apart, and the saga ends with Goku and Vegeta realizing there's still a greater power out there to surpass. Broly is one of the most iconic movie villains in Dragon Ball, though his two versions are vastly different. In Dragon Ball Z, Broly is introduced as the legendary Super Saiyan, an unstoppable force of rage and destruction. His power is so overwhelming that even Goku, Vegeta, and the others stand no chance. However, his motivation is comically simple. He hates Goku because Goku cried next to him as a baby. Despite his raw strength, he's ultimately defeated when Goku absorbs energy from his allies and lands a single, devastating punch. In Dragon Ball Super, Broly, his character is reworked into a tragic figure, a Saiyan raised in exile and manipulated by Paragus for revenge. This version of Broly fights out of instinct, not malice, and his power continues to grow uncontrollably during battle. He fights Goku and Vegeta at full power, even forcing them to fuse into Gogeta. The battle ends when Gogeta nearly kills Broly, but Chi-Lai and Lemo use the Dragon Balls to save him, leaving Broly alive as a potential ally rather than a true villain. But while Broly's power is off the charts, there's one warrior who's managed to evolve beyond every threat in Dragon Ball history: Goku. From his first ever transformation to forms that shatter reality itself, how exactly has Goku continued to break his limits? Well, that's a story of its own. Click on the video on screen to see just how deep this rabbit hole goes.